Hey everyone, back with Luca, and we've got Chewy over here who's taking a nap. Thank you so much to everybody who contributed to our blog series on separation anxiety. Many of you sent in your dog story and provided us with both insight and questions that we could follow up. And that's the beauty of this community, is that we want to help one another get through these times and find ways to engage people we've never met or we don't even know exist, so that we can advocate for these dogs that we consider our family and a part of our lives. So important. And again, just thank you to everyone. This week we wanted to touch a little bit on how we as the humans are going to prepare ourselves for leaving our dogs when we have to go back to work. Our office is in Union Square. I live in Brooklyn. This means that my day with Luca and Chewy will go back to the way it used to be. Chewy came to the office maybe once a week. Otherwise, I'm gone, 9-10 hours out of the day. I'm going to miss them so much, and I'm going to miss the opportunity to be, teaching Luca how to navigate the house, how to navigate the neighborhood. My wife and I are both going to miss hanging out with Chewy. She's such an adventure dog, and to not be able to play fetch and teach her other commands and work on her rehab, it's going to be really tough. So I'm right there with all of you in how do you prepare yourself to leave these creatures that, you just take so much comfort in having them by our sides right now. I think especially in this time, it's really important to have this relationship with these canines. I know I've talked to a couple of friends and even some of our staff members who don't have a dog of their own. And across the board, that's what is said, is how much they wish there was a dog in their home right now. There's something so beautiful about the relationship that we create with our dogs, whether it's our very own dog or even just the dogs that we take care of. And it is bringing a peace of mind and hope that we can get through this together. So in terms of those of us who have a dog at home, and we definitely aren't looking forward to that day, I wanted to just kind of go over a few things that can prepare you for this. We are lucky enough that one of our clients and a dear friend of mine sent in an email that I shared with you guys on the blog in reference to her dog, Wilbur. Wilbur is a very well-behaved English bulldog who really has taken to being alone, and through the boundaries that were set up for him as a little puppy into now being almost 2.5 years old, he gets it. He knows what his parents want from him and what they ask of him, and he has a very comfortable idea of when they leave. It's not this separation from them that they will never return. He knows that TBM is coming to give him his walks, and he's going to get lunch during that walk, and he gets to see his friends, and all of these things that you set up in a dog's routine can really play into their entire existence. And I think, when we take the next few weeks, or if it's a month from now until we're getting back to work and leaving our dogs again, I would take that opportunity to still put into practice some of these routines that they've had before. Yes, we've talked about how that will help them, but it's going to help you too. For Wilbur, for instance, one of the days a week, his mom works from home, and she still practices the same thing that she does when she leaves him those other days a week, right? So he still has that time in his crate or his playpen. He still gets that lunch walk around the same time that TBM would come. He's not able to come over and demand her attention and demand all this time because she's working from home. And I think, in applying that, it is not as if Wilbur's mom, all those other days of the week, regrets that she has to leave him. And I think it's because of the rules and the boundaries she sets up for the day that she is home. And I think that mental note of things aren't going to be any different for my dog can really help you say things aren't going to be that different for me. Obviously wanting them next to us at all times is super important, and it's a very natural thing that while we're working, they're right here next to us. But pay attention to how often you're creating that kind of dynamic where you need them so close to you, whether it's you're on a tough call, you're getting through an email, or you just got off the phone with your boss who wasn't too pleased about something. And what is the energy that we are giving them? And then what is the energy we are receiving from them? And if we're only using our dogs for comfort right now, of course, it's going to be very difficult when we have to leave them. But if it's also a source of, joy and playfulness, and keeping in mind that we are still the ones that are here to caretake, that they need us for every aspect of their life, from when they go to bed, to their meals, to their relief breaks, to the affection that we give them, it will start transitioning your mind from everything that maybe they're giving us right now. And it'll get back into that routine of, what do I need to do to make their life really great? And that means that you have to go back to work, right? And you have to then provide for them. So I think if we can kind of change our mental state from what am I going to do when I have to leave them, and more of what can I do right now to prepare my own self for when that day comes that I leave them, it will help in the meantime. So it will help you put into practice the guidelines that I set out last week in the blog post, anywhere from the crate to being assertive while being calm, exercise and routine. And it will also start training your mind that their life is not going to be worse once you go back to work. It will be different. Your life will not be worse for the most part, but it will be different. We will be grateful that we are going back to work and engaging with our colleagues and seeing people on the streets again, and having the option to actually hug somebody that we care about. So if we take some of those positives and the blessings that will come with us returning to work, I think it will prepare our minds and our hearts to have to leave them when that day comes, as much as that will be difficult. And I think it will help you make better decisions for them in the meantime, to really prepare them for that day that you leave, that it won't be this super difficult moment for them because you started to prepare them now. And I think for anyone who is responsible in caring for another living creature, whether it's another human, a dog, or other animals, even for me, for plants, because they are living beings, when we put their needs above ours, I think it does make it easier to put ourselves in that mental state of having to leave them when that time comes. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Please continue to send your questions. I want to personally thank Wilbur and his mom and dad for allowing me to use him as an example. I'm so impressed with the dog that he's become. And so much of that is just your genuine concern that you give him a good life, and that life involves routine, and that life involves boundaries, and understanding how to help him succeed in those moments. So thank you to you guys for sharing Wilbur with us, and for sharing your story of what's going on right now in COVID and outside of COVID. Be well, be safe, everybody. Sending so much love from Brooklyn. Chewy wants to say hi too. Say hi, Chewy. Yep, and that is all for now. All right, bye.